This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
Well, hey, we want to tackle something today that you may have seen if you were watching the Super Bowl. You probably saw the commercial for the Trump accounts, and it was kind of a nice little commercial for, helping your kids put together a little nest egg so that grows and grows and grows, and by the time they get to retirement, there's something there for them. So that is something people probably don't know too much about. So Mike have people come and asked you about it. Every time there's something new like this, people might come in and ask these questions. Is this something you've examined, and is it something worthwhile?
So, I think this is probably the greatest thing since sliced bread next to the Roth IRAs. The ability to put money aside today, and it literally is for the kids and grandkids, because you can only put into accounts for people under 17 years old, or under 18, right? So not when you turn 18. But it's remarkable. It's treated as an IRA, which might sound like, well, why do I want to do that? But here's how this works. So first and foremost, a parent or guardian has to open up the accounts on behalf of their kids. You're going to do this, it appears, because we're still waiting for some of the rules to come through, but it appears it's going to be done through Department of Treasury. Right now, if you're doing your tax returns, you want to be filling out, especially if you have children under age 18, you want to fill out what's called the 4547. And yeah, so just a little bit of ego there, but 4547 on the tax return. And on it, if your child is born in 25, 26, 27, or 28, the federal government will actually seed the account with $1,000. So the government is going to give you $1,000 to get these open up. So if you have somebody that was born in 25 or born in 26, obviously we don't know about 27 and 28 yet, but if you have children during any of those time periods, you definitely want to open up these accounts, because the government will give you a free $1,000. Why not just take that money? And now, mom and dad, the parents of the kid or the guardian of the kid has to be the custodian. So the grandparents can't open it up on behalf of the kids. So okay. that is the factor. Mm-hmm. But anybody can contribute to these accounts. For a total of $5,000 can go into these accounts. So employers could put $2,500. So if you have generous employers, your employer could put $2,500. If you own the business, you can put $2,500 into the account for your kids or grandkids. But up to $5,000 can go into this account total. Okay. It acts as an IRA, so it has all the tax implications of an IRA, so it's tax deferred until you actually use the money. If you take it out and use it before 59 and a half, there's a penalty, a 10% penalty for using it before 59 and a half. But there are exceptions to that 59 and a half rule, where you can use it for college education, which is kind of nice. You can use it to buy a house. There's some little rules, healthcare stuff. There's some rules on how to get it out. You still have to pay tax. But here's the sweet spot about it. Here is the absolutely stunning ability, especially for grandparents, to work with their kids to help this establish it for the grandkids. Mom and dad open up the account, right, for each kid. Government does or does not fund them. And by the way, that form 4547, even though I'm telling you to do it with your tax return now, the fact is the accounts won't even be eligible to be opened until July. July 5th is when they're available to be open. We're not even sure where they're going to go, but there's going to be low-cost index funds. An advisor's not going to manage them for you, so you're going to be kind of on your own to pick the right allocations. But low-cost index funds is what's going to be in there. Probably Vanguard, maybe BlackRock, because BlackRock pitched in for that commercial that we all saw. But here's the sick part, right? So we put a total of $5,000 in for that 18-year period, right? For the day you're born through the year you turn 17, right? So that's a total of 18 years. We put $5,000 in. Just at reasonable market returns, just based upon what the S&P's done over like the last 20, 25 years, averaging around 8%, you're going to have better part of $250,000 in there. At 18, you get the child to convert it into a Roth. Now, this is where grandparents can come into play. So not only will they help fund it along the way, but when the kid turns 18 and mom and dad convert this into a Roth, have grandma and grandpa help pay that tax bill, because there's going to be a tax bill for the conversion. And then here's what you do. Don't tell the kid about the account, because it's not like statements are going to come in. It's not like they're going to see transactions, because it's all held with inside account. There's no tax consequences after they turn 18. And so you just keep it quiet, keep it hidden. Technically it's the kid's account, so they're going to know about it, but do your best to hide it from the kid, because if you let that account sit there and percolate until the kid is 60 years old, now think about this. $5,000 a year for basically 18 years, about $250,000, give or take a couple bucks. at 60 years old, inside the equivalent of a Roth IRA, because that's what it'll be by the time they convert at age 18, over $5 million of tax-free money for your grandkids. Talk about an incredible legacy to give to your grandkids, right? Just a phenomenal opportunity to make a huge difference for that next generation. And we already know that our generation, Randy, I'm a little bit older than you are, not like Ryan, this young pup in the room with us. But, my generation, the boomers, I'm at the tail end of the boomers. The boomers are going to be the last generation that on average have more assets and more wealth and more income than their parents, right? We're the last generation to really have that. And so imagine the ability to give those grandchildren an incredible leg up. And yes, you're going to put some money into it for, 16, 17, 18 years. And yes, you're going to pay a little extra to convert it, but that could be the entire inheritance and it will make a huge difference. And when you think about it, I know some people listening are probably saying to themselves, well, 5 million, 5.5 million, 40, 45, 50 years from now, 60 years from now, that's not that much money. Yeah, it's the equivalent of about 2 to 2.5 million today. I mean, it is that much money. We're talking about a boatload of money, life-changing money, so that they can have the retirement that you want for yourself and that that you want for your kids and or grandkids.
And Ryan, when I think about this as a grandparent, there's 529 plans, but when we talk about this, 529 is really used exclusively for education. This has another tentacle to it that you could use it for education, or it really is specifically used for retirement, and that's not something that has been out there very much, has it?
No, the 529s, Mike and I talk about it all the time with our clients, and so do our other advisors. I certainly have 529 plans for my daughter. I've put in, a significant amount of money into them at this point, and I've decided between my wife and I that we're done putting money in those accounts because there's always the chance that one of the kids is going to get a scholarship. There's always the chance that one of the kids is going to choose not to go to college, or in the case of my brother and I, my brother went to a college that cost $40,000 a year. So he used a lot of money for his college, whereas the school that I went to was like $8,000 a year. So my overall bill was much less. So then, you're either left with the thought of, I have all this money in the account, in the 529 accounts, or I have, money that's left over. Well, just recently they changed those laws so you can convert some of it. But then there's always that question of,
but only 35,000,
only 35,000,
only over the course of years.
Yeah, over 7 years, I think is what you do. You can do that, but the downside is that people are always asking. My clients have always been asking. I'm already putting money away in 529 plans. Can I open a Roth IRA for my grandkids? Can I open an IRA for my grandkids? What are the other ways to save money for the grandkids? And no, they can't open IRAs because the kids don't have earned income. No, they can't open Roth IRAs because the kids don't have earned income. There are certain ways to do that. If you're a small business owner, you can put the kids on payroll and pay them enough to be able to put the money in 401ks or Roth 401ks or IRAs. But that has always been this tactic that's only for a select few because not everybody owns their own business. This gives grandparents, aunts and uncles, moms and dads, a way to help save money for the kids, allow it to grow tax deferred for the first 18 years of their life. And then if they're smart, you can do that Roth conversion. You don't necessarily have to, but it's advised at this point in time that, you would be doing a Roth conversion and allow them to have that money tax free. Because like Mike said, if you're putting the maximum amount, that $5,000 a year into it over the next 18 years, and you let it sit there in just an index fund and an average what the stock market's going to do, by the time they reach age 60, 65, it's $5.5 million. If you think about when you get to retirement, a lot of people have the thought of, I want to make sure my money outlives me, but then I also want to make sure I'm leaving behind money to my kids. Well, if you take these steps early enough, having this money set aside for the kids, you don't have to worry about, making sure I'm not spending all of my money in retirement, so I'm leaving stuff behind for the kids. It really kind of can change your mindset of, I've taken the steps to make sure my kids are financially stable because we are always, always concerned about our kids. I've taken those steps to make sure that they're stable, but now I can really enjoy my money without having to worry about what happens if this happens? I'm not leaving money behind for the kids.
And Randy, I want to throw this out there as well. This whole idea about the Roth and putting money away for the grandkids, I love it, right? So you can always convert some of your own money and name your kids as beneficiaries on the Roth, but that's a 10-year window, so not quite the same. But here's an important factor that parents and grandparents need to remember. The principle, the basis that you put into that IRA that you then convert into a Roth, that $220,000 roughly that we talked about, anytime you want to take that $220,000 out that we talked about, anytime you want to take that out, once it's in the Roth, that basis, that whatever you pay tax on the conversion, that's available to you any day of the week, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, no tax, no penalty to take it out, right? And the nice thing about the way these work is that we, as the parents, as the owner of the account, get to tell the IRS, what are we taking out first? And the general rule is you take principal out first, then you take gains out. So you literally have $250,000 of money that can be used for a down payment for a house, for extras from the time the kid's 18 to the time the kid goes through college, buys a house, starts a business, have kids, whatever it happens to be. All that money is available, that $225. It's only the growth that we worry about delaying until later. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team. Let us show you how to create income streams. We'll talk to you about fees. We'll talk to you about risk, long-term care, estate planning, taxes. And these new Trump accounts are phenomenal, absolutely incredible things to make a significant difference in your grandchildren or your children's lives. Pick up the phone, 866-597-1040.
It's one of those great advantages, I think, to having a financial advisor when things change. And I mean, we've had this big, beautiful bill thing, and it's changed a certain amount of ways that you're going to file for your taxes. There's the Social Security new deduction out there. And now there's this. There's 529 plans. Now there's this. And to have your financial advisor working on your behalf to show you what's new out there, and if it works for you, really a valuable resource. Give Mike and the team at ProStatus Financial a call. Here's the number again, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. If you've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, your 401k, your Roth, put it all together, and many times it will easily reach $500,000. Give the guys a call. Let's talk to you about the planning for retirement that you need. TheSavvyInvestorRadio.com is the website where you can start.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.